Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. 10 years ago, the Spurs' redemption against the Miami Heat began with a hot Game 1, literally. For the first 3 rounds of the 2014 NBA Finals recap, we have supplied a summary of each round exactly 10 years after that round ended. As a reminder, the Spurs beat the Mavs in Round 1 of 2014, a 7-game series in which the Spurs crushed Dallas in the 7th game. In Round 2, the Spurs blew out the Trail Blazers in a gentleman's sweep. The Spurs led up in Game 4 in Portland and then closed out the series 4-1 with a big home win. Next, the Spurs took out the OKC Thunder in 6 games. Each of the first 5 games was a blowout by the home team, but the Spurs won Game 6 in an overtime thriller in Oklahoma City to take the series 4-2. For the finals, I will not wait until the end of the series. Instead, we will go back 10 years for each game. In their 12 wins before the finals, the Spurs won by an average of 15 points per game. That seemed unlikely to continue against the defending champion Miami Heat. But unlike 2013, the Spurs had home court advantage in 2014, meaning the first game would be in San Antonio instead of Miami. Game 1 was June 5, 2014, the air conditioning game. Or more accurately, the no air conditioning game. In South Texas. In June. In Game 1, the 90-degree heat and matching humidity caused Miami star LeBron James to cramp up with about 4 minutes left, after the Spurs already wiped out a Miami lead. He did not return, and the Spurs finished on a 31-9 run, scoring the last 11 points to win by 15 points, the same average margin of victory as their previous 12 playoff wins. This was the line score. The 2014 redemption finals happened before I started at Pounding the Rock later that year. For Game 1, I have pulled up my contemporary summary from my old site for Spurs analysis, leesfakeblog.blogspot.com. Let the games begin. One thing I haven't heard mentioned anywhere about Game 1, 17,000 fans and 24 sweating athletes in a confined space with no air conditioning. Wow, it must have stunk. What also stunk was the commentary of Mark Jackson, former, thankfully, coach of the Golden State Warriors, and now back in the booth. When LeBron first pulled himself out of the game with cramps in the 90-degree heat, Jackson, who I don't think is an actual doctor, suggested that LeBron needed to tell his body that this was a big game and get back in the game. Wouldn't it be nice to live in Jackson's world, where physical maladies could be commanded to disappear? Devil, be gone. That only works with coaches, something Warrior ownership did at the end of the season. Jackson, be gone. And so it was. Would the outcome of the game been different if LeBron had Jackson's gift of auto-cure and not totally cramped up at the 3:59 mark of the fourth quarter? Impossible to know, but there are several indications that it would not have changed the outcome. First, while LeBron was on the floor, his plus-minus was actually 0. Second, when LeBron left, the Heat were down 2, on the road, and the Spurs had the ball, so the Heat were already an underdog. Third, Danny Green, who LeBron would not have been covering anyway, had already heated up, as had the rest of the Spurs. Finally, this is what happened in the 2 minutes that followed. The play that may have sealed the deal was Ray Allen's missed three-pointer with 2:08 left. He made his first 3 threes, then missed his last 5. So, while the Spurs clearly pulled away after LeBron left, the way things played out could have happened similarly even in LeBron was on the floor. Green would likely have made the 3 to put the Spurs up 5, Wade would have missed his jumper, he was clearly dragging down the stretch, and Allen, also dragging, couldn't have been much more open if there had been 4 LeBrons on the court, all of whom would have passed the ball to the wide-open Ray Allen. Perhaps more interesting is why LeBron, and only LeBron, cramped up. Everyone else was tired, and especially so with the conditions. But the Spurs were clearly fresher down the stretch. Udonis Haslem says he was almost traded to 76ers for Hall of Famer. On a recent episode of the OG's podcast, Udonis Haslem and Mike Miller invited Miami Heat assistant coach and former Miami player Karen Butler to discuss the NBA Finals, among other topics. During the episode, Butler talked about how he knew he would be traded for Shaquille O'Neal. Udonis Haslem mentioned his name was in trade rumors when Miami looked at acquiring Allen Iverson to team up with Dwayne Wade. I was all shook up and but D. Wade was like, "Man, that's Allen Iverson," Haslem said. My was almost out of here. Haslem did not say what year this happened, but when I heard it, my mind started to wander. Iverson was traded from Philadelphia to Denver in December of 2006 for Andre Miller, Joe Smith and 2 first-round picks. The Heat had traded for Shaquille O'Neal in 2004 and won the finals in June of 2006. Shaq suffered a knee injury in November of the 2006 to 2007 season that sidelined him for 35 games, so maybe the Heat looked at an Iverson trade that December as a way to keep the championship window open. How would an Iverson and Wade backcourt work? Who would have worn number 3? Would Miami's first big three be Shaq, Wade and Iverson? Who would have been Miami's power forward? It's a fun what-if game for Miami fans. There are also a couple of Kobe Bryant stories on the episode that were worth a listen. Butler does state that Bryant's Mamba mentality is similar to Heat culture, which he would know better than most playing with Bryant and being part of Miami's culture as a player and coach. An overall fun listen. Shaquille O'Neal shares how he motivated Dwayne Wade in 2006 NBA Finals. Shaquille O'Neal recently shared an anecdote on the Draymond Green show about a pivotal moment during the 2006 NBA Finals when he motivated his Miami Heat teammate, Dwayne Wade. The Heat were down 0-2 against the Dallas Mavericks, and Shaq, who was dealing with personal issues and recognizing his own decline, had a crucial conversation with Wade. D. Wade, our first argument was in the finals. We go down 0-2. I'm declining as Shaq. I'm going through a divorce. I'm not Shaq. My first 3 guys are terrible, awful. So I pulled D. Wade in the room and said, "What the F*** K you gonna do, man? Mother you want to be the man, what the F*** K you gonna do?" I wasn't trying to fight, I was just asking questions. He had a look of relief like, "Oh, I can? So yeah, mother I got 4 people on me." And he said, "Okay, Shaq." And he went off. This conversation turned out to be a turning point for Wade, who delivered an extraordinary performance in the remaining games of the series. In the 2006 NBA Finals, Wade's statistics were phenomenal. He averaged 34.7 points, 7.8 rebounds, 3.8 assists, and 2.7 steals per game, shooting 46.8% from the field. In this crucial Game 3, Wade scored an impressive 42 points, which was instrumental in leading the Heat to a narrow 98-96 victory. Wade's box score for Game 3 included 42 points on 14 of 26 shooting, 13 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and 0 blocks. His scoring spree was vital in turning the tide of the series and instilling confidence in his team. Wade continued his stellar performance in Game 4, scoring 36 points and helping the Heat secure a commanding 98-74 win, thereby evening the series at 2-2. His box score for this game was 36 points on 13 of 23 shooting, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, and 0 blocks. Wade's ability to dominate on both ends of the floor was on full display as he relentlessly attacked the Mavericks' defense. Game 5 saw Wade's dominance continue as he poured in 43 points, including critical free throws in overtime that sealed a 101-100 victory for the Heat. His box score for this game was 43 points on 11 of 28 shooting, 13 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals, and 3 blocks. Wade's clutch performance under pressure was key to the Heat taking a 3-2 series lead. In the series-clinching Game 6, Wade scored 36 points, securing the Heat's first NBA championship with a 95-92 victory. His box score for this game included 36 points on 10 of 18 shooting, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals, and 3 blocks. Wade's ability to rise to the occasion in the most critical moments cemented his legacy as one of the greatest playoff performers in NBA history. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Shaquille O'Neal? Leave your opinion in the comments.